Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video, I basically just want to go off the previous videos we've been talking about ints. We also talked about expressions. In this video, I basically just want to show you operations and more on expressions and what you could really do with ints as well as other types of variables. So basically the idea is, if you guys remember, let me go ahead and create a main method. Public static void main. Um, just create the main method. I should have done it earlier, but I was being lazy. That's the point. Let me create a method. I'll just say operations. And let me go ahead and call this method in main. File. Save my downloads. Save it. So basically, if you guys remember, this is how you create an int. So you can say int x equals 30. So basically, the idea is this will basically initialize a variable for you. So if I go ahead and print it out, system.out.println, if I print out x, this will basically just print out 30. So there's basically other operations in which you could do. Let's say I want to count up. Let's say I just want to update x by 1. Let's say after maybe 2 times or 3 times. What you could do is you could set it to 31, which will count up, but that's inefficient. Let's say I want to count it 20 times. I could add 50, but let's say I didn't want to do that. There's ways in which you could do that. For example, there's an operation called plus plus and minus minus and plus equals and minus equals. So I will first talk about addition and subtraction with variables. So plus plus will basically update the value that the variable that you are updating. So in this case, if I did x plus plus and I go ahead and compile it, this is not going to compile. That's because I need to add a semicolon. That's just a syntax issue. So basically the idea is, if I run this now, basically x was set to 30, and when I say plus plus, that's basically adding 1 to x. I can't just have a plus right here. I can't just have 1 plus. I need to have 2 plus. 1 plus is not a valid operation, but 2 plus tells the program, hey, I am going to add 1 to x. So if you guys want to see what I mean, well, the value of x to begin with starts at 30, and then we update it by 1. So now x is going to be 31. If I did minus minus, what this is going to do is the complete opposite. Instead of adding 1, it's going to subtract 1 from x. So this will become 29. Plus equals is like another version of doing it. So if I said x plus equals 1, what this is going to do is going to say take x and add 1 to it. So it's going to say take the previous value of x, which was 30, and add 1 to it. This will produce the same behavior, 31. It's not, I mean, I don't prefer you write it this way if you're going to do if you're going to add 1. But let's say I want to add 20 to x. This is where you would use the plus equals. The plus equals is the operation that allows you to add whatever value you want to x, or any variable in general that are numbers. So if I did x plus equals 20, what this is going to do is say take x and add 20 to it. This will basically add 20 to x. I can't do x plus 20. That's not going to work. I can't do that. It's going to give me an error. So plus plus basically adds 1. That's like the shorter version of writing x plus equals 1. And minus minus will basically add 1 to x. If I did minus equals 1, that's going to be the same thing as saying x minus minus, which will basically decrease x by 1. If I said minus equals 30, this will basically subtract 30 from x, so that's going to be 0. There's also times equals. So times equals works the same way. So what it's going to do is take x and times it by whatever number you put here. Let's say I took x and I times it by 0. That's going to be 0. I could have done it here as well. I could have done times 0 right here. I could have done that right there. This will give me the same behavior. But often there are cases in which you will have to write code like this. Let's say that you were writing a program that will basically count the number of lines in a file, for example. You will have a variable that starts at 0, and then every time you see a line, you will add 1. You say x plus plus, x plus plus, so that will increase the line number. So this is the better way to write it. If I did x times equals 20, this will basically take x and then times it by 20. What is actually, I don't want it to be 30. I don't want it to be 0. So if I did 30 times 20, that's 600. Yeah, 600. There's also divided by equals, which does the exact same thing. It does integer division. It does 30 divided by 20. So that's going to be 1. You can't divide by 0, so this is going to give you an error like we talked about. Yep, that's going to give you an error. There's also mod equals, which says do x mod 20 and then add the remainder. So if I did, let's do 2. So what is s going to be? So what it did is it says take 30 divided by 2 and then add x. The final result of x will be stored, which is in this case what's the remainder of 30 divided by 2, which is 0. So x is going to be set equal to 0. So that's just the operations in which you could do that with. You can also do a double if you want. If I said double x equals 40.5, and if I said x times equals 21.3, this will give you the same behavior. You can do it doubles as well. So basically, that's the idea for this video. I just want you to understand that these are different ways in which you can do operations with variables and expressions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I will catch you in another video. Thanks for watching.